Welcome everyone to episode number 5 of When's the Next Chat. Today we've got our new segment, our first episode of the new segment. Today we're here with Riley Myers.
G'day, guys.
So mainly for this segment, chatting shit with, it's more of just a conversation rather than an interview. So I'm just here with some of my good mates, and we basically just go on about like whatever we want, just saying whatever comes to mind. But today, Riley and I, the main topic that we'll be talking about is like public and private school differences, because we both came from public schools. I came from Bourne High, and you came from Camberwell High.
Both have the experience of both, so
Yeah,
make it an interesting conversation.
yeah, exactly. And both moving to Trinity, which is really how we like became close mates as well. How did we first meet each other?
I reckon probably year 7 school sport, something like that. Like we always played each other in club footy.
Yeah,
Bourne played for Ball and I played for Camberwell. Just remember this big man child with a buzz cut running through everyone. I always sort of knew who he was, and then I think sort of when I moved to Tree, I was like, oh yeah, I know this bloke. And then as
yeah,
friendship grew, now we're best mates.
yeah. I remember like your first day at Trinity, you had a oversized blazer, massive pants. You were just standing,
Stingy on the uniform. She didn't let me buy anything new, so I had to go straight to the second-hand shop.
just standing at the front, and I'm like standing from across the room. I'm like, oh shit, that's Riley Myers. What the fuck? And then you do your classic little.
Oh,
Oh no, it was funny. But no, like the first time I remember, like, somewhat talking to you was like club footy after the game, when like Bourne Tigers, Campbell Sharks, and we we knew each other 100%, but we just never chatted to each other. But I remember it was like the game where I kicked the winning goal, and then you.
someone shut this guy up.
And then you had a free kick, like you thought it was 50 out, but I think it was like 30.
Man, I didn't exactly have my shoe back then.
And it was like after the siren. Oh, that was such a good game.
We've had
Yeah.
some good games of footy against each other.
I swear, every time like Bourne Tigers and Bourne Hawks, every time we play against each other, no matter how like shit one of our teams are that day, it's always close for no reason.
We had one this year where I think we won in the last like 2 minutes, and I sort of sealed the deal with a nice soccer flop when Winners tried to hit me in the back, because it was the softest hit, and I went diving, got a free kick. He didn't talk to me for 2 days. Sat together in the bathroom, did not talk to me for 2 days. He was so angry. He was like, oh, this bloke hates me.
No, I was so mad. Oh, so what was your like first day at Trinity? What was that like for you?
Oh, I was so scared. So I'd come back from my overseas holiday the day before, so had a 14-hour flight from LA, and then I was like, didn't sleep on the flight because I was so scared, and then like just thinking about everything, like it was sort of a weird situation for me because I sort of knew a few people, was like didn't know who I was going to fit in with, and then first day I remember for the Trinity people listening, I had PE, had no idea where I was going.
Oh my god.
The first half of the period because I was like walking around.
Yeah, like private school PE is so different to public school because they make you change from your school uniform into your PE and then back into your school uniform. And because, like, same thing with you, like my first day, I had PE as well, and I had no idea where I was going. I think I missed about 4 classes just because I had no clue, like, where to go. And, like, the class, like, the way you read it, it's just like, I'm never going to remember this.
And yeah, it's a scary day. Like, I remember recess, I sort of was walking around in circles. I was lost, didn't know where anyone went. So I went and sat in the bathroom by myself, ate my recess by myself. I was like, damn, I'm not going to be sitting outside by myself, so I'll go in the bathroom. And then, yeah, I sort of just took me a couple of weeks to settle in, but I'd like to say I settled in pretty well.
Yeah, no, you have 100% settled in pretty well, mate. Like, even, like, CD has said to us that many times, like, it feels like we've been there for, like, ages.
Oh, it's insane.
It's actually so good.
And me moving, starting year 11 and you start year 10, big changes, which we'll get into, I think.
Oh, yeah. I I think a big change for both of us. I'm not sure about like how your grades were like when you were at Camberwell, but Jesus, mine were fucking shocking. When I was at Bourne High, I was just like biggest job. I would always just like fuck around in class and do absolutely nothing.
Mine were okay. Mumsy was on my ass constantly, so had to lock in a little bit. But yeah, I like that. I don't even want to say they've improved that much, but it's just like sort of my ethic towards doing schoolwork. Like that's also the move of schools, but it's also like year 11 now going into 12. Like sort of want to.
You want to actually take it serious. Yeah. Oh, like I think at Bourne High, I was like failing almost every class except for like English, which is like, I used to cook in English. So if you just write a page, you're basically passing it. You could write about like a completely wrong topic in English and still pass. But like, oh my God, like PE, I was passing at Bourne, but not like learning PE, like physical development PE. But since I moved to Trinity, it's also because like both our parents have said this, just mentioning how much the fees are at private school.
Always at the back of my head, like, dude, dropping a lot of money to be our mates or
just be a class clown. Yeah, like my parents were like, you better fucking try. Like seriously, it's that important. I was like, yeah, I'm not taking this for granted. As well, like the teachers at private school, oh my God, they are so much more helpful.
Yeah, I think like first off, shout out Mr. Wyatt from Camberwell High. That's the go-to teacher. Like I had a few gems, but I think the more I look at it, it's the staff turnover. So it's like it's hard for a teacher to stay engaged with their students when. So I had a class last year, 2 years ago now, where I had 3 teachers in the same year in the same class because people were just leaving and stuff. So it's tough. It's hard to stay engaged. Like I think you get a lot of teachers at Trinity who've been there for 15, 20 years. They know how it works. They know how to keep the students engaged. Like that's something the teachers also do really well is sort of like they know, like they teach for boys. Like they know how to keep the boys engaged and they do things that like make sure that the boys are still listening, that, they let them go off topic a little bit. Whereas I think some of the other teachers that I've had in the past just sort of like they expected you to sit still in what was 75-minute periods. Like not many people can sit still.
Oh, I think the 6th period, like schedule at Trinity is like so smart because sitting in a class for an hour and 15 minutes, expecting to, because you don't actually teach for an hour and 15 minutes. You wouldn't even teach for like half an hour.
I remember I used to throw glue sticks at shout out Angus Blake. My laptop still has glue stick on it, by the way, from that science class, and so you're a dickhead.
Yeah. Oh, like you're so much more prone to like fuck around just because you're in a class for so long. You get bored so quickly. You need to entertain yourself. Yeah. Like it's just so much harder to pay attention for that long, and like you can get way more stuff done. Like you can do almost all your subjects in the entire day. Like on our Mondays and Fridays, I think we have one period for each class. It's so good because you just bang through all of them in one day and you get a little bit of everything done.
Yeah, I reckon just the biggest benefit that I've seen is just sort of what we sort of spoke about before is like you're putting more effort in because like the sacrifices your parents are making. And I think we've talked about this before. You do see a couple of people that take it for granted.
Oh my God, yeah.
One of the other episodes when we had that chat at footy with one of the teachers where it's like you see those people that take it for granted. It's just so frustrating because they don't know the opportunities that are being given. And
yeah, exactly.
It's very frustrating. I think, that's one of the biggest benefits is just the opportunity we get at such a nice school. Like, I mean, thinking about like we have that breakfast at the MCG. It's just
mate. It's so sick.
Obviously, the other big benefit is what we'll get into, which is the sport. Is insane, but yeah, it's definitely got his pros, the money.
And I think we're more prone to like seeing people taking advantage of like what they get because we came from public school. We take it a lot more serious having this education.
Someone's going to yell at me in the yard.
We take it a lot more seriously than people that have been there. Like our mate Bolly, been there since primary school, and Sama, like, not to say that
They definitely don't take it for granted.
they don't take it for granted,
A
but
few that have been there since school.
yeah, like they don't really appreciate it as much, like coming in there
100%.
and like saying, I said this like, I think it came up like ages ago, but if I had the choice to send my kid to like a public or private school education, I'm 100% choosing private, but I'm sending them to public first. Yeah, because then they know like how big the difference is.
You just gain the appreciation of what you actually get.
Yeah, exactly.
When you don't know any different and you've been there since you're not really understanding what you're actually being given. Whereas when you see the less opportunity to, I guess, thrive and grow as a student.
And a person as well. Like, coming from public school, our perceptions of private school kids.
I remember I had a massive fight at a club footy game. One of my primary school mates, so club footy training with one of my primary school mates, went to Xavier at the top. I mean, wearing Xavier shorts and socks and training top. I'm like, hey, buddy, we're not at Xavier training right now, right? We had a full chong about it. So I'm like, no, take it off. Like, we're at club footy, take it off. Like, I lost it at it. So it's like, I think my perception was just, it's insane to think it's like what I actually do think about it now. It's sort of like becomes more than a school. Like it becomes sort of.
It's more like as cringy as it sounds, it's more like a brotherhood.
You sort of, because it's like you get the sport and all the other stuff, you just sort of like gain the sort of respect and you want to like, you're sort of proud to show the school that you go to and you're sort of proud to like be a part of it. Whereas I think, I just want to say this is not all public schools. I think, I don't know about you, but I didn't have the greatest experience. So that's why.
I'd say I did have a good experience, but I'd mainly moved for sporting and like education, and because my older cousin went to Trinity. Shout out Tommy Wem. Main reason why I got him there.
It's like I probably didn't have the greatest experience. I think I needed to find a group of friends that I should have had the same passions with, and I think I've definitely found.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Did cost me 80 grand. Well, yeah, back and the best in my.
We just hold the mic up a little bit to your face as well. Yeah, and also like how welcoming the boys were. Like you knew CD, Gaunt, Freddie, and Spratty and all that from like club footy. I literally only knew like Gross and Summer, and that was it. So when I first went there, I was literally just like fucking searching the entire day just to find them.
Everyone was
like, because I went there on like orientation day and like school photos. So I was like standing next to a bunch of random kids that I had no idea who they were. It's a big school, man. I was like, right, it's a massive school. There's a lot of people, and they're just so welcoming. Like they just bring you in straight away, and you're just like a part of the friend group. Like as soon as you get there. Then again, it takes a while to settle. Like moving to a new school, it takes so long to like feel like you're settled in.
3 times, term 4, I sort of started.
Yeah.
It's definitely just all the new experiences and stuff.
Yeah, I reckon it took me to like starting year 11. Like whole of year 10 was just a whole like learning process of like, okay, do this, don't do that, don't say this, do that, and like all that other stuff, and just like kind of like learning to fit in with like a complete different like group of mates who are so different to my public school friends.
At a boys' school, like, is very different to admit. Co-ed as well. Like, we're both co-ed, so it's funny watching the blokes in the writing classes try to communicate with women because they've obviously never been into a class with women before. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. So another thing that like happens in private school is like once you finish year 12.
Shit. Wait. Oh no.
Like once we finish year 12, in sporting, we've actually been to like some of the trainings, but like OTG, like a lot of the footy boys, there's like this big program for like a lot of private schools do this, like old, like whatever the schools, like Old Trinity, Old Camberwell, Old Xavier, Old Scotch. They all have these old boys teams where like all the past like year 12s, they always like go there to play footy unless they want to pursue something else or play with their mates at a different school. But then again, a lot of the time, like at OTG, a lot of the kids there, a lot of the guys there, not kids, sometimes they're not even like Trinity boys. They're just
there to play.
They're just there to play some footy, and it's unreal how welcoming they are as well.
Oh, it's insane.
Hugo Tyson just comes up to me straight away.
Oh, g'day, Wayne. Hang on. It's great. Yeah, I think
they're a great bloke.
having something like that, keeping you sort of connected with your school is like a great program to have. I think not just the sporting, like I think, 20 years down the line, you'll have a conversation with someone and you'll find
Oh yeah, exactly.
good connections, and it's just it's a really good thing that's done. I think footy program is definitely very good, but it's just a great way to stay connected with your mates. Like everyone goes their separate ways, and people go overseas, people go off with their misso doing something. So I think having a set way to stay connected with your mates is a great thing to have, I think.
Yeah. And on the topic of like the sporting at private school, it's absolute night and day of how beneficial like sporting is at private schools, especially with like kids who want to get drafted and like want to get to the highest level. Having like the school program where you get to play every single week, it's just so much better, because people that don't know, at public school, what we do is we just basically do a whole round robin for like that sport of that day.
Unfair.
So it's just not
deserve a lot better. I reckon Victoria's the only place. Is it like?
Yeah.
My family overseas, like the only competition you play is public school sport, and it's as big as private schools. So it's like so unfair on public schools that have to, like, that are trying to get drafted or trying to even just want to play footy with their mates. Like you go to school with these kids 5 days a week for 40 weeks of the year, and you want to play some sport, but you get 1 day to play. It's very unfair.
Yeah, so like how it works is, so for example, in our division, it would be Bourne High, Camberwell High, Kew High, and Doncaster, and we would all play at Linden Park for footy, and we would just play a massive round robin, and you're playing 3 full-length footy games on a massive footy field.
Yeah,
and you're like fully cramping by the second one.
I wasn't.
But by the third game, I was like, just can't bother, just take me off or put me in full forward. It's just not fair. Like, no scouts are going to come down to public school round robin to find their next star prospect. That's why, like, public school kids take local footy way more seriously than private school kids. Because private schools know that, like, their school footy is, like, way more valuable than club footy.
100%. Like, on the topic of school sport, it's just like, it's something that sort of brings people together, like from my experience. I didn't even most of my mates this year. It's just like getting on the, because obviously our grounds are not in Kew on campus, so we got a bus out. Like, just the memories I got this year on the bus, probably not fit for a podcast to say, but just like the memories that I've got, like, I think one of my best is the 8 a.m. drive out to Assumption that I had to do this year with one of my good mates, and it's just like, it brings you together on the field, and then it's like, it goes both ways, because you're together every day in class, like, that brings you together, like, makes you just want to hit
just that much more closer
for this year, where I hopefully get to play with you boys. Hopefully, please.
No, you will, 100%.
Yeah, but it's so good. Just like, I think what we've got written down here is the camaraderie of school sport. It just brings you together, something to look forward to. I think we got 2 mates, Spraddy and Coma, who do the old countdown of how many hours until the first bounce and Cone will say 500 hours because it's Monday morning.
even when it's Monday and the game's like Sunday morning.
Seriously.
Just let go.
It's just something to look
It's great
to.
though.
And it's just,
It's like those little things. Like when I first came to the school, shout out to Jack Jenkins. He was he was more of like a mentor to me. Like always like taking me under his wing throughout the entire time. And like the year 12, you weren't there for it, but the year 12 group, when I was in year 10, like Sammy Phillips, Jenkins, Ben Riddlesfield, Jinger, oh my God, they were just like so welcoming to everyone. It was just unreal. Yeah, and I'm just so excited this year as well. Young talents, and also like private school sporting, so good for like if you want to go to the highest level and get looked at. Like good mate of ours, Grossi, Tom Gross, like a few of it. He got popularised on a baseline when he just decided to just kick 10 for no reason against Campbell Grammar. Like, mate, that thing like sprung out of nowhere. Like, not saying that's the only reason why he's being looked at, but fuck, it just helps so much having like those games every week where you get looked at.
I mean, like for someone like me who's like loves playing footy, wouldn't want to pursue it anything higher than after school footy. Like, be happy to just play with my mates. Like, gives me something to work towards. Like, I think it like I didn't really have anything to sort of have to put in the off-season work for. Like, there was nothing really. Like, whereas now it's like I've got a goal. Like, I've set something. Like, I want to play. Like, I think for an average footballer like me, it's like you think about those games where you get people to come down and got a big crowd. Like, remember I watched the Marcelin game this year. You get all those Marcelin boys walking. Like, hey, sorry, boys.
They've been talking a lot as well.
Major chirpers. Terry Lorenz talk a lot of shit.
What? All right, there's no diss. It's just.
But like seeing those boys walk across, I was just envious I wasn't playing. Like, that's like I want to be a part of that. So it gives you something to work towards when is this texting me, hey mate, we're going for a run at 8 a.m. So I'm still asleep.
Oh,
Part of the off season, they haven't really been fine, but now it's something to work towards.
yeah,
Which is good. It's like those big games that you sort of look forward to. It's like I wouldn't get that playing local footy unless it's a community show or a dome match.
Yeah, put that one on the calendar. Yeah, and also like even outside of school, like our mates from Trinity, they're way more. This is gonna sound so like fucking rude, but they always the times that we always hang out with them is always doing something like active, like going and play golf, going to the gym, kicking the footy, or just like going out for a coffee. Like I remember most of the time, like I would not be doing that really when I was at public school, because I feel like teachers drill it into their head, especially our PE teachers. They like talk to us about like being active like all the time.
Yeah, and it's like bit of growth, maturity as well. Like we get into our older bodies and just realize like you're gonna get fat ass. So put it the best way possible.
Especially in the year 12 area when we get free cereal. Oh, it is actually great. But I also feel like going to a public school, because it's like a cheaper education, they have a lot of lack of ambitions as well. Like I had no fucking idea what I was doing, like after school when I was at Bournemouth. Then again, I'm only like 13 to 15 years old the time I was there. Like I'm not expected to know what I'm doing, but like I feel like if I didn't have this change, I wouldn't have had a thought about like what I'm doing. Like I've got a good idea what I want to do after school now, but that's also because I've like somewhat forced myself to mature a little bit, going to a really prestigious school and, taking advantage of like our resources that we have there.
Yeah, I think like the thing that I'll say is like, it's just surrounding yourself with the best people possible to put you in the best situation, I guess. So it's like surrounding myself with you as a little athletic freak, like loves going to the gym, loves running. Like, I'm not the type of guy to go off and go for a run by myself.
Oh yeah.
Like, I think my experience at Campbell was not like in that area. It wasn't the school. I think it was sort of the people I surrounded myself with. Like, there's a few gems in there, like a few great people, but I think on the majority, it was just I needed to. Yeah, I wasn't putting myself in the best situation of like-minded, like people that I wanted to go. Like, I was sort of in my friend group, my only people that played footy, stuff like that. So I was like, so that wasn't even on the school. Like, it's just sort of
Yeah, and this isn't even us just trying to like talk down on public schools.
Let's put that out
Yeah.
there.
Both our public schools that we went to are like
in
division. Yeah, like there are some really bad ones we won't say, but like I did love my time at Bourne High, and I actually don't tell them enough, but it was like fun.
Her mates from Campbell still love them to death.
Yeah, and like sometimes it's hard for them to understand because like they don't really, not that they don't get it, but it's hard to explain to them like I just want to like better myself, and like it's a big investment moving to a private school, but it really is worth it. Like the amount that you get from it, from the like 3 years that I'm going to be there. Like I think I've grown so much since I was at Bourne High.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, my main statement I want to say is like, it's just the way that you sort of, when you put yourself around the better people, or like-minded people, which obviously cost me a lot of money to do, but
Yeah,
you know, you got to make that sacrifice. And like you could, I think, so like I look at my older brother who had a good group of mates. I think it's just, you got to get a good year level because you get pushed at the private schools, like the teachers push you academically, they push you as a person, whereas it's very easy to stay laxed. Stay laxed. Quite that. Cut that. On. No, we're not cutting that. We're not cutting that. That's staying in. Like to just sort of complacent. Stay complacent. Like they're not. You're not going to get pushed, and so putting yourself around those people.
And like an example of that, like last year, like our footy team was meant to be doing like, you know, Wednesday morning sessions that, you know, we get 5 hours rocking up.
I was asleep. Not a chance.
But like at the start, it was about 3 people. And then like every week it just like added on a person and like slowly grew to like 13, 14 people, which doesn't sound like much when you got a list of like 30 something that are like potentials to like start. But the fact that it's growing, it just shows that like there's a massive like domino effect from like when you see people doing it all the time, it's like slowly starts to have an effect on you, and then like you start joining in, and it's just like such a healthy habit like that keeps going around. Like I think like everyone in our year, like I can't think of nobody that doesn't go to the gym or doesn't like do some sort of exercise to like better themselves.
A few
at school. Okay.
Couple of minutes.
There's a couple, but like the majority, like everyone's like doing something to better themselves.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good place to be.
Oh yeah.
Looking forward to year 12.
Oh, I'm that keen. Again, in year 12, you see like, I remember in year 7, I used to hate some of my teachers. But then like as I get older,
They like you,
like I was such a little.
They
They literally turn into your mates. Like shout out to Mr.
Benny Sinner. I love that.
Like during exam period, we just like rocked up to his office and we were like, "Oh, can we just like borrow a classroom and you teach us like some of the math stuff that we need for the exam?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." Walked us into the year 12 room, grabbed us a classroom, sat there for about an hour and a half,
And I think
just ran through everything.
I mean, I had the 3-4 experience this year, so I think you sort of, your teacher just sort of becomes your mate, and they're just sort of like I mean, and to be fair, probably the same at every school. We only have the Trinity experience for VCE, but like that sort of just that feeling of like you can go to your teacher, like no question's a dumb question. They'll help you out with whatever you need. Like for me, the 3-4, like moving into a class with a 3-4 with and 2 year 11 students last year who I hadn't met them, and then all year 12s and the kid above it was a scary thing to go into, and I think that it was very helpful to sort of settle in and like have a teacher. Shout out Mr. Money. Have a teacher that just really helped me out when I needed it, and I was pretty happy with my efforts, I think. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, like the teachers know that you're year 11 going to year 12. They're way more sympathetic with you. Like they understand like how stressful it can be. But yeah, it's just unreal. So I think that'll wrap us up for this episode. Episode 1, our first episode of the new segment. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed. Thanks for being here, Riley. Really appreciate it.
Very fun.
Yeah, and hopefully you guys like this episode. Hopefully give it a like, share, rating and above. And yeah, hopefully see you guys in the next episode.